Hey everyone, it's Hannah Cudley here from Student Music Network, and today I'm joined with rising music star Mia Kirkland. Thanks for joining me today. How are
No,
you?
thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Let's get straight into it. For people who may be unfamiliar with you, can you describe your musical style?
I would say my musical style is very dance, but I also like to tell stories with my music. Underneath my Spotify, it says I write sad songs that you can dance to, and I think that describes it very well.
You can still
Yeah,
relate to the lyrics, but then it's not like really sad and somber, so I like that.
yeah.
And so let's talk about your background. So you started off busking and then you took part in the BBC Three talent show Project Icon, which is really cool. Can you tell us about your journey breaking into the industry and how those experiences helped you?
Um, Growing up, I was very nervous, not very confident, and the reason I literally started busking was because I was 15 years old, so I couldn't get a job yet. And my mum told me that I had to find a way to make my own money so that I could afford this yellow raincoat from Topshop. And I was like, okay, that's my goal. It's £60. So I went out, made £60, and I was well chuffed with myself. And then I kept doing that, and people seemed to really like it. But it was only until I was 17 when someone came up to me and was like, hey, you should post this on TikTok. And I was like, okay, cool. And after like my third video, it just blew up. I think it got like 4 million views or something, which was crazy to a 17-year-old. And yeah, I just kept going from there. I probably bussed for about 2 years. And then I saw advertised this talent show on the BBC, and it had Becky Hill in it. And I absolutely loved her music. So I thought, great, I'll apply for it. And my mum was like, Mia, did you not know that they emailed you last week about this? And I was like, oh. So I ended up going through all the auditions and somehow getting onto the show. And it was just so interesting to see like the world of the industry because I was very much outside of it. And I think it gave me, well, as they say, like a crash course of the music industry. And from there, I met my manager, who was absolutely amazing, and we've been working together ever since.
Amazing. That's such a cool story. Like, it's really cool that you got to kind of do stuff like that and to start busking from 15 years old, which is so young as well.
You should see the videos. I looked ridiculous. My mum still dressed me, and I was so nervous. I wouldn't talk to anybody, and I wouldn't even say thank you because I was so nervous if someone would come up to me.
I mean, it's a pretty big deal. You must have had like some confidence within you to even go out and do it in the first place.
Oh, I don't know how I did it, but it did bring a lot of confidence because obviously you have to interact with people and you get good stuff as well as bad stuff. So it's definitely changed my confidence and personality growing up.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I guess it's got you where you are now, which is the most important.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly, I love that. And tell me about signing your first record deal as well, because what another insane moment. It was back in September last year that you signed, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy for you to say last year now. That makes it seem so long ago.
I know.
But yeah, I couldn't believe it when I found out that like Sony, the one of the biggest labels, wanted
Yeah.
to sign me, and I hadn't even released any music at that point. And I just people kept saying to me how lucky I am. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm very lucky because it was less than a year into me meeting my manager and obviously no music out, and they just had full faith in me. And I did feel like I was in a very lucky position.
Yeah, that's really exciting though. And now we've learned a little bit about your background. I just want to talk about your brand new single just released called I Just Called Your Ex. Super catchy. I've had it on repeat.
Thank you.
How has it been received by people so far?
So well, actually. I've not really had any negative comments at all. A few of my videos that have done well have had the odd troll here and there, but everyone's been really loving it. It's one of my favourite songs. I wrote it just over a year ago now, and it means a lot to me. So I'm so glad that everyone else can enjoy it as much as me.
Yeah, that's such a good feeling. Can you share the story behind the song?
Of course. So I was with a guy at the time, and I remember one evening we had an argument, and he'd always told me how his ex was crazy, but she actually broke up with him. And then the next day, I had a writing session, and I just went in with the line, I just called your ex, or I'm gonna call your ex, or something like that. And we ended up working from the chorus and then doing like the verses and the pre. And the chorus just came within like 10 minutes, and we were like, right, this is gonna be a good song. And I even showed my boyfriend at the time the song, and he was like, wow, this is great, Mia, like so catchy. Like, what was the inspiration? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I actually said, oh, it was the girl in the session. She was having trouble with a boyfriend, something like that.
You gotta flag it, I guess.
Yeah, I hope he knows it's about him now.
Well, yeah, and it's paid off because I feel like it's personal moments like that that get the best tracks. I mean, you said you went in and kind of it felt so natural writing it, and
Yeah.
you know, what is your typical routine when you're in the studio? Do you have anything that you kind of do to get like your creativeness flowing or anything?
So I live in York, and most of my studio sessions are in London. So I have about 2 hours of a morning thinking about all the ideas, and I write them down. And I have like a notes page, and then I also listen to music on the train that I kind of want to be similar that day. And then I go in, and I've noticed when I write the chorus first, um, it feels more like, I don't know, like you're putting all your energy into the chorus. So I find my songs come out better when I do that. And I don't really like focusing on production as much. I love to focus on the storytelling, and maybe even if it's just as I'm writing it, piano, and then adding all the jazz later. Because I love just telling the story.
You filmed a music video to go with the new single as well, which must have been so fun. Can you tell us about the thought process behind that and what is the actual journey like from when you come up with the song to then the concept of the video and then actually getting to shoot it?
So we knew straight away that it had to involve a phone or something along them lines. So I created like loads of Pinterest boards and was coming up with ideas. Um, the shoot day was just incredible. It was so much fun. It was bloody freezing, and I was stood there with barely anything on. But it was so worth it seeing the results. And the team was incredible. It was a mainly female-based team, which I feel like just resonates so well with the song as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, and yeah, we kind of just loved the visuals of it just being me, nobody else. My brand is very much like the blue aesthetic, and they've nailed that with all the lighting. Um, and then we had the iconic phone box.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to do, and seeing it after, I think I got it a week after, and it was just everything that I thought it would be, and it was great.
It must be so surreal, especially as I guess you've wanted to do this pretty much your whole life and you started out so,
Yeah.
and then to be hitting all these milestones now must be crazy.
Yeah, well, I used to when I was younger go on. I think it was movie star or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that, and create my own music videos. And my dad brought it up the other day. He was like, you should do a video showing then and now, because it's so weird to see. And also it's weird to see like me on a camera. Like you never know what you actually look like until it's there.
that's so true. You know what? That's a good TikTok idea though. You should do like look at me back then and now I'm actually out there doing it.
No.
And do you have any interesting stories from shoot day? Like, did anything strange happen or anything behind the scenes that you can share?
um Oh, one of the members of the team, because it was so cold, he was like, I'm gonna go sit in the car. And so he sat in the car for quite a while. And then when it came to us having to drive to another location, we just get a call, and I just hear like, oh no. And he'd been sat in the car with the heating on blast, and he'd like flattened the battery of the car. So we were in a bit of a pickle there, but thankfully, I don't know how, because I wasn't involved with it. They got the car working again, but I always thought that was really funny.
That is so true. I mean, you'll never forget that, will you?
No, no.
And you recorded an acoustic version of I Just Called You Axe as well, which has some gorgeous vocals. Is that
Thank
something
you.
you're going to try and do with all your future records? So you kind of get two sides of your musical style and your talent?
I really enjoyed recording the acoustic version. I don't know if I do it for every song, but I grew up with a lot of like the Adele piano stripped vibes, and so I love singing like that. I'd probably post acoustic versions on my socials for a lot of them. Don't know if I'd release all of them, but yeah, I do really, really like the acoustic ones, and I might even release a few just acoustic songs on their own without it being D&B, just to see like a variation.
Yeah, kind of you'll be hitting two audiences then, I guess, as well, which is
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna touch on actually, you mentioned Adele there, but on the show that you went on, you also shared you're a big Becky Hill fan and you mentioned it early on. Do you have any other musical inspirations?
Although they're not in the genre that I'm doing right now, my biggest inspirations, I'd say, would be Tate McRae and Billie Eilish. I think the sass of Tate McRae is incredible, and her stage presence is just so incredible. I've actually got a picture of her right here because I ordered some Road Beauty the other
I
day.
love.
And yeah, I just think she is so cool. And then Billie Eilish, I just love the way that she like the way she words things and how emotional her songs can be. And they're also very unique and different with her recent album. Sometimes half of the song is in a completely different genre to the rest of the half of the song, and I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely two strong female pop
Yeah,
stars. And I saw you announced to play Victoria's Festival as well later on this year, which what an amazing opportunity for a young
I
musician like.
know.
What have you got planned for your live appearance?
Gosh, it's all very new to me. I've never like actually sung any of my own stuff out, and I've never been to a festival either. I remember growing up, I always wanted to go, but I didn't have anyone to go with. And I always said to my mum, the first time I go to a festival, I will be performing there. And let's hope that's still the case. But no, I'm very excited for the live aspect of this year. I'm hoping to be performing quite a bit because I post a lot on socials, but no one gets to see me or like see me perform.
Yeah.
I've got Victorious and then just confirmed Boardmasters as well, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will see me at some other places.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Keep the eyes open then. And I was actually, this leads on to my next question because I was going to say, releasing new music is a really good way to start the year. Have you got any other projects coming up that you can share with us?
I've got a few bits and bobs in my sleeve that should be. I'm hoping to release a lot more music this year. Um, Nothing 100% confirmed yet, but I've got a lot in the pipeline and a lot of things just edging towards confirmed. So,
So soon. Well, maybe no more soon.
yes, definitely.
And just to finish us off, what is your long-term goal for yourself as a music artist?
Oh gosh, the big question.
Yeah.
I'd love to just inspire younger girls. Growing up, I was always inspired by artists and how they always understood the right thing to say in their songs when I didn't know if that's how I was feeling. And like, I just resonated so well with artists, and it's such a great way to be a part of a community. Like, you see Taylor Swift and obviously Tate McRae. It's just such a loving community, and I just love to inspire girls that like I was like when I was younger. And in the busking scene, lots of young girls would come up to me and be like, I love you. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much I impacted your life. And there's also this girl called Daisy who's actually got a fan account of me, and she's just so lovely, and she's seen me live singing before. And it just means so much to me that I can inspire the younger generation.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. It's been great chatting to you, and
No, thank you so much for having me.
all the best with the rest of the projects that you've got going on this year.
Oh, thank you.